Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's do some speed reviews. I'm trying to be better about making sure that I am checking back with you regularly about products that have come into my collection, what I'm using, what I'm not using, what excites me, what I can't stop reaching for. And like Santa Claus, I am making a list and I am checking it twice because I literally have a list here of all of the products I've purchased since January 1, and so far there's 132 of them. Okay, I know. There's a lot of things in here. I'm gonna try and be super quick about them. All right, I'm gonna start with stuff that usually lives in my bathroom. This is the first one. This is the Tree Hut Tropico Sparkling Gel Wash. Can you see how sparkly it is here? I was worried it would leave that residual sparkle on my body. No, it's just pretty to look at. All the sparkle washes down the drain. I don't know that it's like necessary. Maybe it's a selling point. I don't know because they're calling it the sparkling wash, but it smells just like all the rest of the Tropic Glow line. If you like the Tropic Glow line, I feel like it's a really good dupe, like a 92 to 95% duplicate scent of the Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom Cream. I like their moisturizing body cream. I love their exfoliating sugar scrub. And when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I want to try that. You're getting a lot. You're getting 18 ounces. I'm halfway through. I actually like it. I don't find that it makes my skin dry. This has been great. I did recently pick up the relaunch of Krave's Beet the Sun. This is their SPF. If you didn't know, I think it was 2001 they mentioned a lot of Korean created sunscreens were running into the problem of not actually having the SPF in the formula that it said on the tube. And because this was created and made in Korea, same problem with this. They've done rigorous testing, reformulations. The original Beet the Sun was SPF 50 with I think a 3 or 4 plus PA rating. This one here has a 3 plus PA rating and is SPF 40. Skin Cancer Association always recommends that you wear at least SPF 30 or more. I would prefer an SPF 50, but for me it comes down to what am I willing to wear? I can try like something that has like 70 SPF, but if it sits weird under my makeup or it's really greasy or it breaks me out or it stings my eyes, that's when I'm like, I don't care what level of SPF you offer if you are just unwearable. I love this. I feel like this is one of the most cosmetically elegant. Oh, there's very little. This is the one that I pulled from my empties. This is one of the most cosmetically elegant SPFs that I've run across. It's white, but it doesn't leave a white cast. But this is where I remind you, I am very fair. So grain of salt. But I think the creator of this brand, Leah Yu, also doesn't like things with a white cast. And she's also looking for things that are cosmetically elegant. And I just ordered 2 more of these because come summertime, I don't use a moisturizer. I use this. I really like this. I like that it's $20 and you're getting 1.7 fluid ounces. Great. I'm gonna make sure to link the video for you here as well as the description box down below, but I finally decided to start dipping my toe into luxury foundation, concealer, powder. For the longest time, I've been buying high-end or I'd been buying, you know, like mid-tier stuff, maybe like nice drugstore stuff, but I really was never sure that those extra prices were worth it. And I said, you know what? Let's just find out. So I started with a product that kind of caught my eye because it was new, and it's this from Givenchy. This is the Prisme Libre Skin Caring Concealer. I have the second lightest shade in N95. I also at the same time picked up the accompanying Glow Foundation. I find it interesting that although they both are the shade N95, they're so different. This one's a little bit kind of warmer and yellow. This has more of a peach tone to it. So I feel like I would probably like this better if I got the lightest shade. I feel like it would probably work better, but you know how I've been using this as foundation. I love this. Okay, so first of all, it's the concealer that I'm wearing today, but I really like it. I like the chunky doe foot. I feel like it's a fairly good color match, and I feel like even though it's a little bit darker than the foundation, it works really well with my skin. I like, you see there's a little glow there, but I like that my skin really does look radiant, and I feel like that's what this skin caring line is like. Now the foundation, I'm wearing this as well today. I really like this a lot. This is the shade N95, but this is one of those, I find that it depends on the brush. Maybe you have different brushes. I prefer using like my fingers to rub this in, or using a damp sponge. It's extremely lightweight. I would say the formula of the concealer is kind of like medium to buildable, but this is kind of light to maybe light medium. If you like a hydrating, lightweight, kind of natural finish foundation, you would really like this, but this has really impressed me, and I feel like out of the two of these, I'm reaching for this just a little bit more. This is good, like on the days that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wear that. My skin always looks really nice. I have it pretty heavily powdered today. But yes, now the one thing that I really wanted to love, and I've been enjoying it, and I'm not saying that it's bad, but it was the most expensive out of all three of these, is this. This is the iconic Prisma Libre powder. This is the one that comes like with those three colors. Okay, there's fragrance to this. There's fragrance also to the foundation. I don't recall if there's fragrance in the concealer. Not really, but the foundation and the powder definitely have a fragrance to them. So I'm not loving that. What's interesting about this is that it is a very mattifying powder, but it also has a little bit of radiance to it. I don't understand. It's kind of weird because like when I put it on, I feel like it blurs out my pores, but it can sometimes look just a little heavy like under the eyes. Although I don't quibble when I use it under my eyes. I'm like, I'm putting it all over my face. There are other powders that I would dare not put under my eyes at 48 years old. This one does a really good job, but I was wearing it yesterday and I noticed that I looked like a little bit more pale, and it wasn't the foundation. I think it was the powder. So I feel like I need to use a lighter hand with this. This is nice, but I don't know that I would repurchase this when I'm done. I might change my mind, but right now, these would be my two repurchases, and this would be the first one to be like, yes. So you know I love the M Cosmetics So Soft blushes, but these are two shades that have recently entered my collection. There is a new shade for this year called Demure, and what I love about this is that it is kind of like a slightly rosy nude. This is one that I don't think I ever would have purchased on my own, but it's really pretty. This is the shade Lychee. And the reason I wouldn't have picked it is because it's so peach. And I feel like my peach blush moment was like 2016, maybe 2017. But my favorite thing about these is how easy they blend out. Like no effort at all. They just like, fantastic. And this shade in Demure blended out is so pretty because it's like this. It's got a little bit more rose, just a hint of tan to it. And this one, although it looks really bold in the swipe here, when it goes on the cheeks, it's just a beautiful, attractive flush of peach. It's so pretty. This is such an easy to blend product. Love, love, love. The other two that I have, Venetian Red and Bitten, are definitely deeper, and on my fair skin, these are really easy to wear shades, especially in the summertime. So I picked up two pretty vibrant shades from Beauty Pie. This is their Super Cheek Cream product. I have these two red shades. This one's called Blazed Apple, and it's supposed to be kind of like a warm red. And then there's this one here that's called Red Light. So these, oh, there's a cat hair in here. These are two very like punchy colors. I really like this formula. This was one of the first cream formulas. I got the shade French Raspberry that made me believe I could actually wear cream blush, because for years I was like, cream blush is not for me. But Blazed Apple, when you blend it out, it looks like this. It's got a hint of red. Mostly it's a kind of a corally orange, which I really like. This one here in Red Light, oh boy, I have to be so careful with this. I like this better on the lips. That's the thing, is you can use these as lip products. You can use them on the cheeks, but do you see? It's a lot of pigment, but as like a lip product, like dabbing it on like this, oh yes. I don't need to do anything special when I'm wearing Blazed Apple. It goes beautifully on the cheeks, brings a lot of life and vibrancy. The formulas are identical, but the color intensity is so different, because when I'm wearing Red Light, I'll, you know, tap it in. I'll use a brush like this, one of these synthetic brushes, and then I'll take whatever is left over on my sponge that might have a little bit of foundation and kind of tap over the edges, because like it's a lot. It's a lot. And it looks a lot better when you kind of take it down. Just, do you see how I blended it here with a little bit of what's on here? I feel like if I'm not careful, I feel like this color is made for someone with a deeper skin tone, but I was like, bright red, yes. And so I've really been using it more like this on the lips. I fell in love with these Danessa Myricks blushes when they first came out. I originally got this shade here. This one is called Golden Hour. And I liked it so much, I ended up picking up the one in Rose and Brunch during the Sephora sale. So these are the two shades. It's the texture that I love of these. They're so easy to use, so easy to blend. My favorite way to use these is to grab a synthetic brush and then just tap in very lightly, especially because they're super pigmented, and then tap off any excess on my hand and then go to my cheeks. Because if I were just to go like this, I mean, if I don't pick up too much, but do you see how easy it blends with a brush? It's so easy, so pretty. And this is the boldest shade. This is the one here. Well, out of the two, it's the boldest. This is the one in Golden Hour. But it's so pretty. You can blend it with your finger. It blends nicely with the finger. And if you need a little bit more pigment, you know, you could tap where you need it and then kind of blend out. But I really like the way it looks, and it looks so soft and diffused. If you have one of these kind of mid-size, kind of densely packed synthetic brushes, use this for all of your cream cheek products, for your bronzer, for your blush. It's fantastic. I decided to pick up the shade Rose and Brunch during the Sephora sale. So this one definitely has more of a kind of pinky peach. It does end up looking a little bit warm as I blend it out, and it doesn't look quite so like rose toned. It looks, but the minute you start to spread it out, I feel like it ends up giving a slightly peachy vibe along with it. You see like a little bit of warmth in there. I do really like this formula. It's amazing. It sits really well on the skin. My favorite thing about it is that although they're matte, they last really well all day, but they also don't make my skin look flat. There's something about this Yummy Skin formula. I know they have like kind of a foundation, or I guess they're calling it a blurring balm powder, but this formula, I don't know, works well for me in the all over face application, but as a blush, stunning. I haven't been buying a lot of eyeshadow. I've been buying a ton of lip products, a ton of blushes. I just realized that I've kind of left one of my favorite parts of makeup kind of like to the side. And I think it's just that there's not a lot that's been released that really excites me. But I did pick up a palette. It's not a new palette. It's a small palette because you know how much I love a small palette. But this is one that came out last year in February. And I got a part of the collection, but I didn't get this. This is one of the M Cosmetics Divine Skies eyeshadow. I like this formulation so much. I have, I think, 4 of these eyeshadow palettes now. I'm like, it's on sale. I've been wanting to try it. I'm gonna get it. I am wearing it today. It is super pretty, but on my fair skin, it pulls a little bit warmer, like these 2 shades here, than I normally like to go, but it's these metallic shades right here that I love, and this deep dark brown. So good. What I love is like just picking up like one of the metallics and tapping it on. This is what I have on my lid today. Like just boop, boop. It's so good. These wear really well. I find that I don't have fallout. I find that they wear well without a primer. They wear great with a primer too, but sometimes I'm too lazy. But I feel like the color wears really well all day, lasts really well, and it's such a pretty easy neutrals. If you have richer skin tone than I do, you might really like this one here in Da Vinci. If you are fair like me, I feel like I might have been able to do without this one because the one that I like is the one in Rodin. I really like this one, but do you see the difference? It's just so much lighter overall, but they're both that really pretty, really easy neutral eye. Love this. If you haven't tried one of these Divine Skies and you like a smaller, more compact color story, you'd probably really like this. This is nice. I do reach for it, but I feel like I didn't need it. And it's not because of the formula, just the color story. Remember Mascara Gate? Okay, I had to know, so I went to pick it up. Here's the things that I like about it. First of all, when it's on, it doesn't go anywhere. This is one of those though that when it's on, it can feel a little crunchy, a little crispy, but it really does build a lot of volume. It does really give me some nice length, but it definitely looks like I'm wearing a lot of mascara. So if you like a lighter weight, I don't know that you'd be able to get like a super soft and fluttery look with this because it builds. The other thing that I like is that this wand has a lot of different aspects to it. Like one is like One part of it is just completely flat with no bristles with product on it. Then we have some of the sides and the top that have shorter bristles that help to distribute the product. So I feel like I can use this flat side to paint on product and then the comb side to kind of brush it through. It builds really nicely on itself. The problem I have though, and it's not really a problem, and I think that I'm used to using a tubing mascara that just comes off with warm water. You really gotta work to get this off. I end up using a biphase makeup remover. I love the one from Lancome to get this off. So I'll saturate a cotton round and hold it there, you know, for 10 seconds or more, and then slightly gently start to swirl. That gets a large bulk of it off. Then I'll go over it with a cleansing balm and then a foaming face wash. And I might still sometimes, after like 3 different makeup removers, have a little bit of residual. So a little Q-tip along the lash line gets the last of it. But if it wasn't as difficult, I feel like out of all of my mascaras, this is the hardest one to get off. But when it's on, I know it's bulletproof and it lasts all day, and it's really volumizing and lengthening. So it is good, but I have to go. Do I want to work that hard tonight? Picked up a couple of drugstore eyeliners. My favorite one is this one. This is the LA Girl Ultimate Eye Intense Stay Auto Liner. And the reason that I like this is that I'm able to shove it up in between my lashes to blank out those skin toned gaps in between my lashes to tight line. It works really well at the base of the lashes, like on the underside. Let me grab a mirror. And instead of taking it all the way back in the waterline, I just kind of go like right here at the base of the lashes. It stays, it doesn't smudge. I like it a lot. I had a lot of people telling me that the one from Milani, the Stay Put eyeliner, was also really good. When I do the same thing and I'm shoving it into my lash line and it's right at the base of my lashes, not all the way in my waterline, I find I do get a lot of smudgy transfer, and not just for the first few minutes that I could take like a Q-tip and, you know, clean up my lower waterline and be done. No, this smudges all day long. But above the lash line, because I'm wearing this today like right up here, it's so good. It's creamy, it glides. It's so good as an above the lash line eyeliner. I don't know that I would trust it unless you're putting it in the upper and lower waterline and you know you're gonna be kind of like really intense. I usually try not to have any heavy eyeliner in my lower lash area because it just makes my eyes look smaller. I already have small eyes. I want them to look bigger. And that's why I'm always worried about there being transfer. This doesn't work for me. It comes with like a little sponge tip. Oops. A sponge tip and a sharpener, which I like. I like that it has a sharpener, but I've never really thought the sponge tip was helpful. But I think the formula is good if you're looking for something just above the lash line. It glides really, really nice. This is the black one. And the one from LA Girl is brown and is fabuloso. This one, by the way, is the shade Deepest Brown. Just down to the lip products. There's quite a few, but there's like doubles or triples of most of them. I went in hard on the lip products like from like February until now. I just been buying. One of my favorites, the one that I'm wearing today, are these. These are the Soft Spoken Velvet Lip Creams from M. The first 2 I got are ones that they sent me, but the 2 that I have here are ones that I paid for myself and I love. The one that I'm wearing today though is called Petal. I feel like they feel really good on the lips. The problem I have with these is they all look brown. They all look a little bit brown, except for the one that's like the bright strawberry shade. But I love how comfortable and soft these are. I found that if my lips are ever feeling dry, I can use this kind of like a nourishing lip product on them. There's hydration in these. I love. You can blur it out if you want like a really blurry lip line. I really like this shade in Petal. My youngest likes it enough that they have taken it to their room and I have to like go and look for it, but they have kidnapped it from me. But this is the shade Petal. I like this a lot. The other one that I got that I like, it's described as a deeper rose shade, is called Intuition. I don't know that it's very rose. They all look very brown to me because like this is Intuition, this is Petal. I don't know that there's like a ton of difference between them. One of the ones that I had before, I mean, they're all within easy reach because I like them so much. This one here is called Tender. Another one that is kind of more like a really warm brown. I wish they had better colors because don't they all look the same? I feel like even thinned out, there's not a lot of difference between them. And they all have that slightly warm, almost terracotta look to them. That's the only downside to these. I feel like if you have one of these 3 shades, you wouldn't need anything else. These wear really well. They also look really pretty when they're not applied this heavily, when they're just thinned out. But just keep in mind that a lot of the shades look the same. Somewhere around here, there's a third one of these Yummy Glosses from CoverGirl, but I'm kind of surprised I have been using these. If you look, like, I really have, this one here is a little harder to see, but it's like down to here. I really have been using these. My kids like them. I ended up buying 3, and the only one I have kept is this one. And there's this one, and my other kid has one. They might have it at school today. But I really, really like these. This is what they look like. This right here is Acai You Later. It's that deeper berry tone. This is my Straw Booty. I'm surprised I have been liking this because this does what I don't like. It gets really heavy, it sinks into the corners and puddles. And if I have too much of it on my lips, it starts to string and pull. But there's something about this formula, it's really plush, it's really cushiony, it's really comfortable on the lips. I like it, which is why I keep wearing it, even though it commits all of my cardinal gloss sins. I don't understand why I like it, but I like it and I've been using it. All right, here's a gloss that I love the color of, but I hate the formula. And it's this. This is the e.l.f. Lip Lacquer. Do you see how pigmented it is? This is the shade Black Cherry. The reason I don't like this is that with all of this pigment and all of this slip to it, it finds all of those fine lines around my mouth and goes. The other thing is it actually dries my lips out. And I sometimes wonder, how can a gloss dry my lips out? It doesn't have any super hydrating properties, or there's something in here that's irritating my lips. Whatever it is, I'm not loving this shade. I actually pulled this out of my declutter bin. I decluttered it earlier this year, but don't recommend. And if you like this formula, great. I was hoping, because this color in Black Cherry is very similar to the Clinique Almost Lipstick in Black Honey. I was like, oh, a gloss version, that'd be nice. It's $3. Skip. What is amazing, and it's like just over $5 and totally worth it, are these. These are the Wet n Wild Rose Comforting Lip Colors. I have 3 shades. 2 of them I wear nonstop. I had to go and get them out of my purse. This is the one here that I love so much. This one is Taffy Daddy. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Sheer, comfortable, makes my lips feel amazing. The other one that I wear all the time is the red in Cherry Syrup. This is so, look how glossy and pretty they are. They are fantastic. Now, the one, I do like it. I just don't reach for it because it's a little bit deeper of a brown. This one's called Pecan Glaze. But, look how pretty. These are fantastic. I don't like the smell. I wish they had like a nice smell to them, and I don't like the packaging. This kind of clear cap. If you ever have any product building up around here, because it's a soft product, it only comes up a little click at a time. Then you put it in here, then you have streaks of product on the inside. I hate that. I'm forever using a Q-tip on the inside of the cap to clean it up, which I don't like. Okay, fine. If it was like a solid color, it probably wouldn't be such a visual disturbance. The other thing is, I feel like this packaging is not very well made. One of them, I feel like the one that I use the most in Taffy Daddy, it has a crack in the lid. And there'll be times that I'll look in like my pocket, or I'll look in my purse, and instead of it being like this, how I put it in, because there's that crack and it just barely clicks, I'll find it like this and I'm like, now there's lipstick everywhere. But I really like this formula. It looks so pretty on and is so easy to apply. I usually don't apply it with a mirror. I'll just like pull it out of my purse or my pocket, slap it on, and keep going. And I can do that with all 3 shades, but the 2 that I use the most are Cherry Syrup and Taffy Daddy. This is a super affordable lipstick from Essence. I think it's under $5. This is their new Hydra Matte lipstick. I have the shade in Coral Competence, and I got it because look at this shade. This is Coral Competence. It's really, really pretty and a fun, punchy shade for summer. So if you're looking for a fun, bright, vibrant, but inexpensive matte for summertime, check this out. Here's where I'll tell you, it is hydrating. It does feel nice on the lips. I feel like it could last a little bit longer. And I feel like it could wear off just a little bit more elegantly. My big pet peeve is when stuff like gets a bald patch in the middle and then I have a bare spot in the middle of my lips where they touch. And then I have a lot of, especially a really bright color like this. It does that sometimes. You can though, like smush your lips together and redistribute it, or use your finger and pull some color down and rearrange. It's really nice. I feel like it's a great product for the price. And it looks really good when it's kind of like blended out like this. But just keep in mind that this is not competing with any high-end mattes. It's a good matte. It's not like the best matte. This is the last thing. This is the Smith Strawberry Lip Balm. I have been looking for something that's going to replace my balm.com. Glossier changed the formulation. They took out the lanolin, they took out the beeswax. It's not as like comforting and occlusive. When I was in Sephora recently, I was like squeezing out bits and I tried like all of them. The colors are the same. The fragrances are the same. If you like the coconut one or the mango one or the berry one, they all are there still, except for they're so soft. There was something, and I'm sure it's the lanolin and the beeswax that gives these a little bit of rigidity. So I was hoping that this would be like that, and because it has both of those ingredients. It's not nearly as shiny as the one from Glossier, the original balm.com. This is a good lip balm. Maybe I just have so many years. I've been using balm.com since before they had any scented. They just had the original and I bought it. And then when they started coming out with other like flavors or shades, I've tried them all. I've loved them all. And maybe I'm nostalgically committed to a product that I can't get anymore. This has a similar textural feel. The strawberry scent really reminds me of my strawberry shortcake doll from the 80s. And it has kind of like that artificial strawberry smell and just a whiff of plastic. And I'm not saying it smells plasticky, but I don't know if it's the tube that I'm smelling or whether the product itself has, or maybe it's just because it smells like artificial strawberries. It reminds me of my plasticky strawberry shortcake doll. But I feel like this is a really nice product. I don't know that I have to have another one. And maybe nothing is ever gonna really have that same space in my heart as the balm.com. This is nice. I feel like at the $9 price point, it's actually really good, but I don't know that it makes me wanna have another one. Maybe it wasn't as speedy as I had hoped, but I really have been liking most of these products. Very much addicted to lip products and cheek products right now. Let me know what your favorites are. What products you have been like going back to over and over. Ones that surprised you, either good or bad. You had expectations that were unfulfilled or no expectations and you were blown out of the water. I want to hear all about it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, I'm going to link everything down below. So if you want to see where these are, what it is I'm talking about, I'll have those for you down there. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks.